Another day, another process. We tweak the things we do on the daily till we find what's comfortable, what works for us. This past week, today's Monday, by the way, but past weekend and week, I had to adjust how I do things a little bit. I'm not really driving my car where I have my own personal setup. So I guess that was the one thing that threw me off a little bit the past couple of days, because I'm used to doing things a certain way, having the things that I need. Let me put this air down a little bit. Plus, we've been going through this heat wave, as a matter of fact, and things were shaking up a little bit. Thankfully, I just have ideas, things that I gotta work through to get by until either things go into normal or there has to be a major change. Sometimes we aim for normal when we really need a change. Like sometimes we think we could just go back to how things were when there's no really going back. So I tried my best not to get too deep with these daily videos, because I gotta be able to do it in one take and upload it. So I keep things a little surface level until it comes as second nature. But usually I'm really one to want to try to go deep. I mean, I might even sound stupid doing it, but sometimes I feel like I'm hitting on something. And that's the thing. Even the dumbest guy think he's making a point, but I'm not. I don't want to even talk down on myself. Like, I know what I'm about, and this is my shit. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta add on to this too, is that yesterday I did make the day video. It's actually being uploaded right now. But, I was doing so much that I could have sworn I uploaded my video, but I did not. So, yesterday's video is being uploaded today, and today's video may be uploaded today as well. But the point of me saying this is that, once again, the trials and errors of doing a YouTube channel, subscribers and views aren't accumulating at the moment. Still not tripping about it, but after my 30 days I might strip all these videos and no one will see them or has to see them. But I'm doing it for myself. So that's why everything I just said before this is that, sometimes it sounds dumb, or I think it sounds dumb, but another individual coming across it may not. It might spark an idea for the next mind. Because that's all this has done for me, with people who decides, and I call them the brave ones, who decide to come in front of a camera day in, day out, or once a week, or every now and then, and make a video. And by the time I find their channel, it has at least 50 videos, and I can just go back from the beginning and try to get the full picture. And I hope this doesn't bother you guys that I'm barely on the screen. Focus on the voice. Don't focus on the person. Yeah, I decided to be on camera, but I just want you to have a view. Like I said, right now I hate to be all over the place. I just want you to at least have a view, because this is YouTube, so I could easily give you the voiceover only, or one thing I wanted to do is capture as many original content as possible. Like, pleasant views for people who like to watch and listen. But this is mostly for, it's like is it a podcast? Like if I did went live, it would be like a podcast. But it's mostly focused on the voice. This is for people who are working long shifts with just their headphones on and their phone is tucked away somewhere. This is for the truck drivers. And I don't want to exclude anybody. This is for the person that's laying on their bed right now, but they're doing other things, but they just want to listen to something that, for whatever reason. But like I said, I call people who do this the brave ones. They go about telling their life stories, and believe it or not, who would have thought that I've listened to a man that I don't know what their face look like, but I've listened to stories on top of stories. And it helped that they had so much life experience. They had been to jail, they had made children, been divorced, and sometimes in society, people will tell you, why would you listen to somebody who has a criminal record? Why would you listen to somebody who's divorced, who's not happily married? But you know something? This world ain't perfect. People ain't perfect. So therefore, I haven't been in jail, and I pray to never do something that land me in jail. Not pray, but I put forth the effort to never put myself in that situation. But not only the person I was listening to, they were, they obviously learned from their lesson, but they were a lot wiser from going through that experience. Now, and I've mentioned this person before. He goes by Ferocious MGTOW. So he has like hours of live streaming and just driving through the states of his over-the-road truck. And that's who inspired me, because he never showed his face. He had the Instagram. He just never did. He never really explained why. He just would make the content, and I never cared to see his face. And like I said, the content weren't just like this. Like the content weren't like high tech like most things you listen to today. Somebody on a studio, they got the perfect mic. Like you could literally hear his truck rumbling as he's talking, and you could hear like this. Like you could hear a lot of disruption noises, but I would make it a duty to listen to all of them while I was working at the post office, you name it. And once again, I call them the brave one, because he shares stories, took you down memory lane. I'm just into that type of stuff. And I know I can't be the only one. And I'm doing this because I don't think I'm the only one. So, yeah. Usually, I watch the time that I do these pieces on, because I'm now 12 minutes away from my destination, because I'm going to work today I finished my time at the training facility. So now I'm going to the actual site that I'm gonna be working at to get another 8 hours on top of that. And then, for the rest of the week, I think that's how it's gonna go. And probably the following week, it'll be live, just me on my own. And the actual schedule. So that I look forward to it because I like getting past having my handheld portion of job, starting the job. But today I'm there to soak up as much as I can about the case that I'm working on. But yeah, I'm working on the channel, and if all fails with this channel, you'll see me again, maybe under another name, because this name was off of a whim, because I could never find me a name that describes, So I came up with Only on Purpose, because anything you see here is on purpose. You might see me crying. That's because I want you to see it. But I don't intend to cry in front of cameras again, because once again, it's not by accident. I'd had to give it a title, write it. You gotta upload it. So I don't want to be a piece of shit. But you might see some raw emotion being here. You might see, me documenting things about myself that, I shouldn't bring up to strangers. But like I said, I call people who does this the brave ones. It doesn't make you any weaker. It doesn't make you shameless. We're just going through life. Like a lot of times people watch people in YouTube relationships. And before you know it, they got sponsors, they're making YouTube money. Their houses look well lit. They're having children on camera. So, that's the good part about it. But they get millions of subscribers. So, this is another side of that, except, it's the part that most people won't show you. Once again, the brave ones. Yeah, there's certain part of my life that I'm going to keep to myself. And if I ever become somebody that people want to know the ins and outs about, I'll be more than happy to have a club. Not something that could just be thrown on YouTube and any random person that, has ill intention could come and use for however they want. But, a club for those that want to be part of the journey. So, yeah. Since I got to concentrate, I got to make sure I find something to eat before I go over there. It could get real uncomfortable, being hungry and tired and being on a shift. So, I'm going to go take care of that. And I'll catch you on the next one.